just realised
not Messenger or WhatsApp.
we have gone live and I haven't done. Hello. Yes, we're live now, and I do it every single time. I completely forget to do the intro tune, so I thought I'd do it today. So we have a different back screen up today, done by Mr. Eric, aka the Professor from Back to the Future. So he's done that for us. I strongly suspect Eric is, or should I say, Doc Brown, is in the room with us tonight. Let me just go to the comments. Right, let's have it. Yeah, there he is. There's Eric.
You have to bear with me. I'm trying to share it out, and I'm struggling.
Every day you're struggling. I need to share it out as well. Why can't I share it out? Because my phone's being a twat. That's why. Let's do that. Right. And of course, bear with us because we are technical. Right. Share. There you go. Poof. Done. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. How on earth is... yes, if you could, please. Everybody, if you want to share it, go for it. Good evening from Skegness. Who's down at Skegness? Because I can't see on here. Let me have a look on here, see if it says... No. Let's click on this. Ah, hi, Tony. You're right, mate. On here, it just says Facebook user. But if I go on here, it says your name. So now we know. But yeah, everybody, matey peeps, please share. Hi, Nicola. So how the very devil is everybody? I'm nice to see so many in here tonight, actually. Thank you for joining us in the chat room. I think I will change my light from warm to singe my eyes. Let's have a look. Is that better? Or that?
I ain't noticed any difference. Oh, that looks like your room's on fire.
Oh, that looks like my room's on fire.
Yeah.
All right, let's put it to that. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, and I've got my alien head behind me. And I'm young Taylorius Maylorius, my daughter. She's sorting out my top tattoo. Is that your new nipple ring? What is that?
See no evil. Speak no evil.
Oh, I see. That's their hands. Yeah.
And last but not least, hear no evil.
I see. Very cool.
There should be a fourth one really saying fart no evil, but
especially living in this fucking house. I tell you what, my message is oh my god. She's not watching. She'll be watching in the week. Love you.
I made a couple of minute steaks the other day, and I don't like them overcooked. And I cooked them so they were just going pink in the middle.
Yeah.
So they were sort of
like it pink in the middle.
A very thin red line right in the middle, and of course you know what that means. Protein.
Oh.
So that was quite an interesting couple of days. That was.
What? But did Ellen gag? That's what.
Yes. Yes.
Because he's all, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman here is always making his missus gag.
Yeah, because of high protein. But yeah, less of that.
I love the way you went. Moving on.
Notice how I just passed by that subject.
Moved on. Ah, dear. So, as you may or may not know, with the show, we're open to all sorts of people who want to come on, all sorts of people who want to be guests. We are trying to keep it sensible, not, how can I put it? For me to say fringe, that's pushing it. If myself or Wayne are saying you're too fringe, that means
what are you saying? I ain't got much of a fringe at all.
No, because no fucking fringe. If you're too out there, no. But we are open to people on show. We are going back to our old roots, which is cryptozoology and ufology. But we will do the old spooky one because that's Wayne's forte, and it wouldn't be fair to leave him out. So we will be doing that. But thank you for all the clips that have been sent, or all the web links, I should say, that have been sent this week. I sent some to Wayne. It'd be nice if you people out there, if you see anything, bloody photograph it and send it to us. If you look down there, you'll see our email address. See? At the Dark Mirror Radio Show the Dark Mirror Radio Show at yahoo.com. That's our email address. Also, you've got the Dark Mirror Show.co.uk. That's our website.
Or you can message us directly.
Yes. On there is a WhatsApp link. If you click on it and message, it will come straight to us. All right? And, I need to sort you out with the details for that as well. I forgot. Yeah, I'll do that. Tonight I think we're going to talk about UK cryptozoology. I think that'd be good.
Yes.
When I say cryptozoology, I don't mean Wayne's eyebrows. Do you know what? When I go on the internet, eyebrows. Anyway. Right. So, what's everybody been up to before we start and doing all this stuff? I'd be nice to Ellen. The boss is watching. One of the bosses. What's everybody been up to? Hi, Jacqueline. I have been Christmas shopping this week. Me and the missus have been Christmas shopping this week, and we think we're almost done. I think we've got one present to get. That's it. Skint. And I may have broken the TV in the front room last night by accident, so I may be in a bit of trouble.
Oops.
Hence my Facebook post of anybody selling a smart TV 42-inch. Let me know.
Oh dear.
Please, it saves my testicles. It really does. So, yeah.
Studio.
No. I'm not going to pay those prices.
What, £321 for a 50-inch widescreen smart TV?
I can only fit...
That's pretty cool.
I can only fit 42-inch in the gap. But I've had a look on Facebook Marketplace, and there's a couple on there. But the trouble is, I've messaged them all. Not one of them's got back to me. So,
they do that.
You ruined 4 out of 6 REM pods. Right, Eric, my man. Right, you ruined 4 out of 6 REM pods. You do realise that flux capacitors are not REM pods. If you're going to try and do 88 plus miles an hour with a REM pod, that's why you're screwing them up. Right.
No, you know what it is? He's been sitting on them again, hasn't he?
Thank you. Well, there's one that's shaped like he does them all different shapes. He's actually really good at it. But I noticed that there was one shaped like some beads in a long line, and the beads gone from bigger to smaller. I don't know what that's about, but he said it was for personal use, and they were really good. So I just let him do it. So I don't
like the Peapod one.
Yeah, exactly.
The Peapod REM pod.
Peapod REM pod. Yeah, I mean. I'm up to no good. Rita is up to no good. Why are you up to no good, Rita? You can't just post a message in the chat and go, I'm up to no good. And then, we go, it says I'm up to no good. There you are. I'm up to no good. What? What are you doing? What? Oh, and there's Viv. Right. Yeah, I'm going to have a look, but I'll get one at the end of the week. I get some money at the end of the week, so I will go on for Dark Matter. Ask Tony. The Facebook user in there is Ask Tony. So, yeah. And you're not too far away from here, are you, mate? You're down at Skegness, which is about an hour from here, I think. So, and we shall be down there at Christmas with the thing that we did last year, the Christmas thing, at the Farm Life place. If I'm
allowed to.
Have you been spending a lot of time out?
Well, I think I'm on one a month at the moment. I did Harwich Readout Ford a couple of weekends ago.
Yeah.
And then I think not this weekend, the weekend after, I'm over at Beacon Hill in Harwich. And that's it for November, I think. And then I've got one in December for Ruffin Control Tower. So,
well, here's the thing. Why don't you and you guys get some babysitters for the kids, and then you both come to the Christmas thing together?
We only have one person that can babysit for us.
Who's that?
Ellen's mum. And Ellen's mum can't always babysit. So
We'll see if she can.
it's a bit difficult. Would be nice.
Yeah. I mean, you could
obviously we've got Ethan and Chloe and Tamsin and Freddie, so it would be nice if I can bring Ellen along.
Yeah. Because poor old Ellen gets left out a lot, so it'd be time for her to come along.
She does, bless her. She's got her earphones in at the moment, so she can't hear. So
actually, I can.
All right, she can hear. She can hear, but she can't see.
I don't know.
Not very nice.
Well, yeah, it'd be nice to see you both there at the Christmas thing anyway. So keep your eyes peeled for that, because that's going to be a good thing coming up, and you'll get to see us. The Dark Mirror radio show guys will be there as well. What else are we going to talk about? Yes, have any of you in the chat, and I'm serious about this, because next year I'm going to be going about having a look at local crypto sightings, spooky sightings. There's been inverted commas with this little hand as well. There have been sightings of dogmen and Bigfoot, or they've been misidentified and they're either Bigfoot or dogmen, which for somebody who didn't even know there was Bigfoot over here, apart from the Scottish ones, and then finding out all this stuff only the last few months, I'm amazed. But there has been legends of where we are, and stories and stuff that's actually been in the press and the papers of bodies that have been found near us, ripped to bits. But apparently the police were told to tell the press that it was mannequins, shop dummy mannequins. One every now and again was found in exactly the same place, body ripped to bits. And I know I've been talking to somebody who's been following the cases and stuff, and I'm trying to get them to come on the show and talk to me. Or talk to us, but I've messaged him and said we'll have to do a pre-record because he can't do Mondays, and that's all I've heard. I haven't heard anything back from him, so I'll try again. But yeah, there's been lots of stuff up and down the countries, so we thought tonight we'll talk about stuff like that. Oh, and before we do that, the face peelers in South America, in Peru,
yeah.
You know, when we were talking about it, and then they were trying to say it was
gold miners, wasn't it?
Gold miners,
illegal gold miners.
That's right. Trying to stop people, and they had jetpacks, and they had this, and they had that, and the other. Well, I've been looking into it. I've sent you some stuff as well, didn't I? I've been looking into it, and the jetpacks, you would not be able to mistake them for anything other than a jetpack because they're so bloody noisy. Yep. So it doesn't matter if somebody dresses up as a fucking Green Goblin. If they've got a jetpack strapped to the back and they're going in front of you, you know what it is. Regardless of whether you live in fucking buttfuck nowhere in Peru, you're gonna know what a jetpack is. I
think the problem is as well, though, is with the jetpacks. Although they do have the rough basic sound, you can alter the sound by putting stuff into the exhaust system. You can change the vector of the exhaust so it whistles, for instance, but you've still got the basic noise there that would still stand out like a sore thumb.
And when they take off, you've got the jet wash as well.
Yeah. And I think something that advanced, you wouldn't have a physical propulsion exhaust. They would have the same technology that the actual aircraft would have.
Yeah, exactly. And also I've been looking at it, and the mayor was the first one to turn around and say, it's not aliens, it's this and it's that. And then the police started saying it, and then everybody else was going, well, the people who've been attacked in the villages and stuff were going, no, it's very obviously not this, it's not that. I know you're saying they were saying it's the local drug dealers covering up, stopping people going near the gold mines and this, that, and the other. Very plausible. But from what I've been reading of, if you don't read the national press and you go down the rabbit holes and you follow their stories and what they say and what the locals say and stuff, it's completely different to what the national press is saying. So make of it what you will. What do you reckon?
I don't know. It's just like I've been saying. You'll get an authentic story go out there, and then they'll throw a load of crap in there just to throw you off the scent. Because we go back a year, 2 years. Every time we've said things have been heating up.
Yep.
And it's all roughly started around one or two incidences that are quite sort of credential, have got good evidence to it, but then all of a sudden it gets flooded with obviously fake videos and fake news that it tends to push the good ones out. And then you have to try and sift through it all.
And that's the thing with the advent of AI. AI is bad for people like us because, you look at all this stuff online and things you get sent and stuff. Luckily, at the moment, you can pretty much see what's AI at the moment because AI is too clear, too crisp, too clear. And the colors are like spot on, or sepia, whichever. But
there is another way of actually finding out whether it's AI, but it means knowing what you're doing with a computer. And that is actually looking into the system itself, looking at the coding for the system. And that would tell you whether it's AI or not straight away. It's like a photograph that's been edited using Photoshop or Moldiv, the Moldiv app that you can get for iPads. When you look at the digital imprint, there are markers there that tell you it's been altered or it's completely sort of AI. But unless you know what you're looking for and know how to work your way around a computer system, it's very difficult to just look at something and go, yeah, that's definitely this. You have to scrutinize it as much as you can, replay it time and time again until you've actually gone, well, there is a decision, we'll go with this. And a prime example was a lot of the ones about these UFOs where they were just black silhouettes.
Yeah.
And they were flying past silhouettes of mountain ranges or hills. And you're like, well, hang on a minute. that UFO's just gone through a cloud, but it hasn't sort of gone through the cloud the way a vehicle would do. It's just like as if someone's got a pencil line there and it's just gone and disappeared into it. Yeah. And rather than it blending into the cloud itself, so you would see it and it would go in and you'd see it slowly disappear once it got past that cloud line. And it made it so blatantly obvious. But now AI's got so much better. It's able now to pixelate that vehicle as it goes through the cloud. So it makes it harder and harder. And like, I think, was that Tony that said that about the properties? If you look at the digital imprint and the properties of each photo and video, there are markers there that tell you whether it's AI or not, but you have to know what you're looking for. And unless you're a computer programmer, it's quite difficult.
I found the other day, watched a show that even looking at a boar through a camera made it look weird and unreal. That was. Have you seen that clip? Because we were talking about cryptos, of that guy out with his dog and this thing that looks like a dire wolf gets up. The dog's barking like mad at this thing, and this fucking thing that's massive gets up and chases the dog, and the guy shits himself. I've looked at that video. You guys out there might have seen it. I've looked at that video again and again and again, and I actually think. So I just had a message sent to me by my other half, and it came up on the screen there. I'm not going to say. But yeah, there was no. It was just a soppy message.
I was going to say nothing to do with testicles and TVs, is it?
No, just a soppy message. But yeah, when you actually look at the video. And because there's so many of them out there that have been altered with AI. If you can find the raw video and look at it, I think it's a wild boar. Because I know over in America, the wild boar or hogs, as they call them, they get stupidly massive. And there's ones called razorbacks, which were Australian. And I think there's some of those over in North America now as well. And they're like the size of cars. Just dirty, great big things. And this thing has been altered with AI to look like a sodding great big wolf that's chasing the dog. But I think it's a boar. Any of you guys in the chat room seen that? Because you know what I'm on about.
I think also it is getting quite clever, because there's a guy I follow on TikTok called Lee Chaplin.
I follow him,
and he is so funny because he uses the TikTok AI to age himself by about 20 years.
That's right.
And so he uses this AI image of this old bloke, and then he does all these weird taste challenges. Carolina Reapers and the Sauerstrom and things like that. And that just proves that AI is getting very clever. But even then, it still glitches.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
And it does stand out. And people have actually commented on it. And he ended up doing a video saying, no, this is the real me.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
For the purpose of the videos, I use a filter that does this. And so it can be done, and it will get a lot harder to actually detect the right videos from the wrong ones.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first. Wayne just said harder. Anyway, yeah. When you see him, he's like, I think he's in his 40s, isn't he? Late 30s, early 40s. 38, but the character he portrays is meant to be, I think it's 75. I'm sure I remember he did one. I think he said it was 75. But yeah. Anyway, back to British cryptozoology. You guys in the chat room, I don't care where you are in the world. Okay, thank you. Hang on, I don't even know who that is talking. Let's have a look. Who is that talking? No. I think
who are you?
I think that's Lois. I think I need to just close this, come back into it, open it up again. Open it up again. And then we'll have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah. Sorry, that's Willow. Thank you, Willow. Yeah, so all you guys out there, have you had any cryptozoology sightings? Any black shucks, any pumas, any big cats, any... I mean, I've seen a few big cats in my time, but that's when I was single. Anything, if you've seen anything, talk about it. Bring it up in the chat and we'll talk about it. So I thought tonight we'll talk about a few British ones. So
can I start off, because not everybody knows what the study of cryptozoology is.
Yeah.
So cryptozoology is a pseudoscience and a subculture that searches for and studies unknown, legendary or extinct animals whose present existence is disputed or unsubstantiated, particularly those popular in folklore such as Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, Yeti, the Chupacabra, the Jersey Devil, or the Mokele Mbembe.
Mokele Mbembe!
Yeah, man.
Hi, Kelly.
So there you go. That is what cryptozoology is.
And for those of you who might want to know, my forte is cryptozoology and ufology. Wayne's forte is the paranormal. Well, no, paranormal comes under that. Is ghosts.
I would say now more paranormal. I was mainly ghosts, but I've become more ufology as well now. I do study a bit more of the ufology.
I got you into it, ever?
Yeah, well, I was always into ufology, but it was more the ghost side of things that was more my thing. But I would say I've over the last 10 years or so, I've got back more into the ufology side of things, and I'll probably get into the cryptozoology side, but I'm getting there. A paranormal all-rounder.
Yeah, definitely. I find the whole thing, with me, I mean, I've always been into cryptozoology and ufology, but I was predominantly, in every other word that ends in ghosts and ghost hunting, paranormal investigating, everything like that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to knock it because I love doing it, and it's good fun. And I am convinced that there is something out there. However, people, what pisses me off with that is people who claim to be experts in the paranormal, and you can't be. No, and I don't mean it disrespectful to anybody. You can't be an expert in the paranormal because it's not known, it's not proven.
You can be experienced.
Yeah,
you can be experienced, but you won't be an expert.
Yeah, exactly. You just can't be an expert at all. So, like me with ufology, I know a lot about ufology, but I'm not an expert. Same with cryptozoology. We know a lot about it. Wayne knows a lot about UFOs and stuff, but none of us are experts or anything. We just read a lot and go down rabbit holes and then go, oh, did you read that? And then we'll send each other stuff and go, oh. So, yeah, which is really, really good. I got you into UFOs. Well, I'm glad we did, because the thing with me is, and I think it's the same with Wayne and probably a lot of you guys in the chat room, you can relate to this. You'll never give up your... You've got an extremely active paranormal house. Okay, cool, Kelly. I think we'll have to have a chat about that at some point. The thing with me is UFOs are a bit, and cryptozoology is a bit more tangible because you can see it, and there's a lot of actual evidence, hairs, DNA, videos, photos, and everything like that. The Tasmanian tiger, the thylacine, everybody thought died out in the turn of the 19th century. The last ever thylacine was that black and white one that was filmed in the zoo. It's not died out. Have you seen the Ring doorbell footage of these things in Tasmania? And they've come from the island that's just off Tasmania onto the mainland. There are so many Ring doorbell, so much Ring doorbell footage of these things with the stripy bum and tail that, yeah, Eric has. I'm absolutely convinced that it's back, and I've said for quite a long time it's back. And I also think with a lot of things that are extinct, I don't think a lot of things are actually properly extinct. I think if you leave it the fuck alone, maybe 100 years later, 200 years later, it'll come back. But
well, it's like the odd claims that there's a couple of plateaus in Africa where humankind hasn't been able to get into, and has allowed the animal kingdom to remain as it was, untouched by human hands. And it's been human society that's got involved with these areas that have made these creatures extinct. And by leaving these places alone, they're allowed to evolve at their own rate.
Yeah.
You know, and they're still discovering different species of spiders every day.
Well, South
because
America,
they go into these places where they're not normally, you know, people don't normally go.
Exactly. In South America, you've only got a fart near a tree and a massive spider will drop out. And I have not seen that one. Ew, not seen that one before. Let's get some professors round. You know, so it's like the Congo. Used to be known as the Belgian Congo and all that stuff, but the Congo in Central Africa, there's allegedly a place where you can go, and Jeffrey Giraffe will send you around and you can toys over. There's allegedly a place. There's a place there where where there's supposed to be dinosaurs, isn't there? Because we've done a previous show about it, and there's a lot. Again, we sound like we're complete nut jobs, but we're not. There's been a lot of evidence to support it, and a lot of people have seen these things. And this area of the Congo, you can go down there, but all the locals like don't fucking go in there. Don't. And that's where a lot of the sightings of the pterosaurs have been. Was it pterosaurs? And I think was it Brontosaurus?
Yeah, it's either Brontosaurus or Diplodocus.
It was bloody great big thing, whatever it was.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's supposed to be this area of the Congo. There's dinosaur. Hello, ghost. The ghost dog is here. Hello, ghost. So yes, there's supposed to be dinosaurs there, you know, and all this stuff about cryptos up and down the country. Why not? I don't see why not whatsoever. As I say, if you leave things alone for a long time, it'll come back. Also, I do think there's pockets of land. They just found a moth with no jaw or tongue in New Zealand. I think they're calling it the Enigma moth. Thank you, Sarah.
Thing is, though, is when you think about it, the likes of these, as the study for them
aliens
says, the myth or legend. So that they've classed Bigfoot and Yeti as a myth or a legend. Loch Ness Monster is a sort of like a recluse. Bigfoot and Yeti, recluses. They're hermits basically, and that's no different to what we would do if we decided that we didn't want to, have anything to do with society or people in general. We'd become hermits. We'd disappear into the wilderness.
We would.
We wouldn't go around letting things know, and that's what we call the human version of a cryptid is a hermit. If you think about it.
Yeah, no, it is. You're right. I still think, and I don't know if I think you agree with me. I'm not sure, but I don't know what you guys in the chat room think. I've said about this loads and loads of times before. I think that a lot of the big feet, the Bigfoot from Walls, big feet, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, hairy humpers, I don't know what you want to call them, skunk apes. I think there's the same family but different offshoots, and I'm kind of convinced that they're remnants of Gigantopithecus. Lots of people say that they're fey people and they come through doorways and this, that, and the other. I kind of think they're Gigantopithecus, but their DNA is different. And they have the ability to, the camouflage is ridiculous on these things. Did you see that one that was filmed from the train? Like one of the clearest things ever, right in the middle of bloody nowhere across the desert in America. And this guy's on the train and there's a Bigfoot walking across, and he films it and you can see it clear as day.
Wasn't it? There was sheep or something nearby. And it was heading towards it, and he thought it was bears.
I don't know. They were on a bridge going across, and he's leaning out filming it, and this thing squats down, and it's like, and it's in the middle of nowhere, so there's not going to be anybody dressed up in bloody costume.
No, I saw one a couple of weeks ago where this bloke was on a train and he was filming, but it wasn't in the desert. There was grassland, and there was two black objects. There was one large one and one small one.
Yeah.
And at first he thought they were bears, but the larger object was actually standing up on its hind legs. If it was a bear, it was on its hind legs, and it walked for a considerable distance across this area with the smaller one standing on its back legs following behind. And it, as far as a bear would be concerned, it would not need to stand on its hind legs for that period of time.
I wouldn't.
And it wasn't until the bloke tried to zoom in on it that he realised that it wasn't a bear. Only by the time he'd actually told other people that he was sitting there to look out over the field, it had gone into some hedgerows or something that just disappeared.
I've just put the link in the chat.
It did look to me like they were a couple of black bears standing on their hind legs, but even I said the same thing. It's walking for way too long on its back legs.
Well, take a look at the video on that one that I've just put in there, and you'll see exactly what I mean. You guys in the chat room, if you haven't seen it, take a look. That's one of what I would class as videos. I think that's very interesting. I don't think it's somebody dressed up in a suit. I think whoever's filmed it's genuinely got something, because it's in the middle of bloody nowhere. And Colorado, my family live out there, and there's a lot of Colorado that is unfit for human habitation. You couldn't live out there. You wouldn't be able to sustain life for long because it's so hot, so arid, so dry in parts of it. And where that train's going across, that's part of it. But
Colorado, yeah.
But have a look at the link I put in there. And unfortunately, because we go out on all these different platforms, you're going to get 4 or 5 different links come up, but it's just the same thing. So have a look and see what you think. But that's very, very interesting. And I've seen a lot of these ones, track cameras and hunters going out and about and getting the feeling that they're being watched, and then taking just photos because they haven't seen anything, and they take photos or video footage of the scrubland in front of them or the woods, and it's only when they get home they look at it and go, "What the fuck is that?"
I think that's with a lot of cases, apart from the people that have sort of been out there a lot. They go out and they spend sort of weekends out there and they hear these strange noises overnight.
Yeah.
When you're just sort of like on a train or you're in a car, you're traveling and you're taking photos or just video footage, it tends to be that it's not until afterwards that you go, have a look at this. Look what I've just found on my camera.
Well, look at the one that we've got up on which I didn't even know was on YouTube. That investigation I did at Kelton Hatch, not the one with you. One of the first one I ever did. When that thing's behind the screen and you can see it looking out. No one knew that was there. Nobody knew anything about it until I think it was a couple of days later when somebody sent me the footage and said, "Have you bloody well seen this?" Because you can see me talking, and then the camera comes round like that, and as it goes round, because the person
you see the person between the gap.
Yeah. And behind where those screens was, what I would call, roll mats. Do you remember the gym mats we had at school? And you get all the gym mats out, you line them out. It was them, thin ones about that, but it was a pile about 4 foot, maybe 3.5 foot tall of these gym mats, and there was nothing behind it apart from those gym mats. So, make of it what you will. There was something bloody well there. So. Oh, cool. What was their conclusion about the Bigfoot last night then, Eric? Because I think that was very interesting, that one. I really, really do. But anyway, as I said to you guys out there, you're all in different countries. You must know something about cryptozoology in your area. Let us know. We'll talk about it. So anyway, shall we start off with some of the British ones?
Yes.
Which do you want to do? Do you want to go to? That's it. Was a promotion.
Well, can I go closer to home because I got Black Shuck?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So, for those who've never heard the story of Black Shuck, it's a dark tale about a dog-like animal with red eyes and an evil spirit. Now, the group Visit North Suffolk explained that the creature is believed to be a manifestation of the evil spirit of Hugh Bigod, the first Earl of Suffolk, who had a bad reputation as a sinful man. The Black Shuck was first spotted by a young boy working at Bungay Castle in Suffolk years after Hugh's death. The child described the animal as a black hound with red eyes and giant teeth. The dog then went silent and for years was thought to be a famous folktale until the 16th century. In 1577, a violent thunderstorm broke out over Bungay, which shook the church of St. Mary's. Panicked and praying for mercy, the people inside the church saw the Black Shuck, and the ones who touched it were attacked. The storm continued on to Blytheburgh Church, where the dog reappeared and allegedly attacked 2 other men before scratching the church door, where the marks are still visible today.
Yeah, I'll say they're still there.
And it's only 15 minutes away from Kessingland Beach Holiday Park. So if you go down to the church, you'll quite see, you'll be able to go and see the actual scratches on the door itself. But
I've seen some pictures of that, and there they are. There's definitely in that door there.
But Black Shuck has been reported up and down the East Coast. It's not just been in North Suffolk, it's been in Norfolk. There's been sightings in Essex, Bedfordshire.
Up and down the coast, isn't it? Because it tends to be predominantly on the coast.
It seems to be a lot of the east of England. It's been spotted, but I think there are also tales of something similar in places like Devon and Cornwall.
Yeah.
So although it's not Black Shuck in those places in the east of England, it's Black Shuck.
It's the same thing because when you go down to Lyme Regis in Somerset, as you drive about and that, you'll see lots of places called Black Dog Lane, Black Dog Pub, Black Dog this, Black Dog that, and I think there's Black Shuck as well.
So I wondered whether sort of places down that way sort of get confused with the Beast of Bodmin.
Well, the Beast of Bodmin, the thing is, and I can tell you from personal experience of big cats down in the southwest. They're not just in the southwest; they're actually all over the UK. And each police department has it, or county. If you even try and eat my dinner, young lady, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Each county headquarters has its own records of big cats that are sighted in the area, and they're well known. Somerset, for example, I've seen. You know all about it, and I think some of you guys do. I've seen a massive big black cat with, I think it was Taylor, and with Becky, I've seen a cougar, and by cougar I don't mean a woman of a certain age who goes. I mean a proper cougar, like American cougars, big puma thing, beige color. It was drinking from a stream. The big black one walked across the road in front of him, across a country lane, single narrow track lane in the middle of the country near my mum's, and it came down the bank across the road, stopped, looked at us, cleaned itself, got up, stretched, yawned, farted, got back up, went in the other side. And the thing that stuck in my mind about that was the size of the tail on the thing. The tail was nearly twice as long as its body, and it was bigger than Ghost. This black cat was bigger than Ghost, and it was not a puss cat. It wasn't a Bengal. It wasn't a what are those massive cats called? That breed with the big pointy ears. I can't remember what they're called, but yeah, it was none of that. This was a puma. You could see it was a puma, and it was huge, absolutely huge. But they're all over the UK, and they're supposed to have started, aren't they, from when the laws were changed in the 70s, and you could no longer have exotic pets. And people were told you either get it put down or we'll put it down. So instead of that, people set them free. And these are the offspring of the offspring of the offspring of the offspring of the offspring from those original ones.
Which is quite difficult in itself, because if you have only two black panthers in the UK, one in, say, Yorkshire and one down in Cornwall, they've got quite a way to travel to mate.
Well, the first ones were supposed
I hope they communicated with each other. You know, they were pen pals. And said, my owner's going to let me go soon, so I'll meet you halfway.
Well, there was originally, like the have you heard of the parakeets in London, the wild parakeets? We actually had them in Ealing, and they'd come on land on your windowsill, and we'd put food out for them. They were green, red-necked, red ring, I think they call it, redneck parakeets. Yeah, but they're real, and people used to think it was a myth. It's not at all. But the original ones that were supposed to have been let loose were up on Dartmoor. It was a pair that was supposed to have been let loose there. And they basically just bred and gone. They stay away from human habitation. They stay away from built-up areas. They like the countryside, this, that, and the other. Could that be what's ripping apart things in the middle of the woods and stuff in the middle of the night?
Well, most likely, because obviously they're carnivores, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, and they're predatory animals, so they've got to hunt for their food. And then, you know, their owner isn't going to stand there and give them a bowl of cat chow anymore. They've got to actually look for their food.
Well, there was a guy, wasn't there, I think it was down your neck of the woods, who was wandering up in the woods, took his dog for a walk. I'll have to look up where it was, but I'm sure it was your way. And his dog started acting really weird and fritzing out. He's like, you know, what the fucking hell's wrong with you? Come on. And the dog wouldn't go any further. And he's like, what the hell's wrong with you? And he's trying to drag the dog, and the dog's like, you know? And he heard this weird growling, and he's looked round, and the dog's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And he's looked round, he can't see anything. And he's heard it again, and it was coming from up, and he looked up, and he said there was a black panther in a tree with a sheep. And it looked like that with the sheep, and he went, and he backed up and got the hell out of there and got the police, and the police were like, yeah, we know all about it.
Yeah, so, unlike when the wolves got out at Colchester Zoo, they sent people straight out to get them back in again.
They'd have to, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but they were very quick, because I think one of them managed to get all the way out to the A12, and that's about a mile away from where the zoo is.
Okay.
So it took quite a time to catch up with them.
What do you? That was Scooby Doo. That was that. Yeah, that was. Raggy. What do you guys make of the alleged dogmen werewolf sightings that have been seen? Because dogmen are different to werewolves. Dogmen don't turn into werewolves on a full moon. Dogmen are dogmen. And they can change at will. Skinwalkers, if you will. What do you make of the sightings that are supposed to be? Because it's supposed to be in some near here, where I live. You know, what do you guys make of that? What do you make of it? As in you, Wayne.
I'm thinking. Can't you hear the cogs turning?
He said cogs.
Thing is like it's the terminology. When you say dogmen, skinwalkers, I've always known them as skinwalkers.
Yeah.
But skinwalkers have been noted in history.
Yes, they have.
Go right back, especially in Native American history. There is a lot of mention of skinwalkers in Native American history. And there's also a lot of references to them being part of not necessarily human race, but a non-terrestrial race.
Yeah.
So there's a link there between cryptozoology and ufology on that side of things. Not necessarily on sort of like our sort of mythology with the dogmen, may not necessarily be non-terrestrial, but certainly with Native American history, there has always been mentions of it. I mean, you look at likes of the stories behind Skinwalker Ranch, and they've always said there that they've had skinwalkers visiting the ranch.
Yeah.
And again, because that ranch goes back in history to two different Native American tribes.
That used to war, didn't they?
And one having control over the other, and the other one cursing the other. So the skinwalkers were in relation to what was going on between those two tribes. So it depends on how it, quite possibly, I think the terminology for a skinwalker has changed over the years. And I think the name has been sort of categorized for other things as well as.
Yeah, definitely.
So it sort of, yeah. So like I said, when you go on, when you say about dogmen and skinwalkers, I'm thinking, well, okay, I've never heard of skinwalker being called a dogman before. And
my understanding is skinwalkers are they can change. They can change.
Yeah, shapeshifters.
Yeah, dogmen, as far as I'm aware, are permanently like that. And werewolves are like skinwalkers, but they change on full moon. So that's my understanding of the three.
I'm going to have to research that.
Yeah, definitely. There's also another thing from Norse legend, the Berserkers, the Vikings. The Berserkers were supposed to be the ones that could turn into bears. They do think that they were given some sort of stuff in their mead to make them go ballistic and just wipe everything out. But these were big fuck off Vikings who, according to all the legends, and that could turn into bears, and they would bring them into battle. They were like their final line of defense. Put the Berserkers in, everybody was fucked. I have heard of the Berserkers before. It does make for very, very, very interesting reading. But my thing again is, I said about I think Yeti, Sasquatch, Yowie, Abominable Snowman, all that stuff. I think they're all the same family. I think they're all related, and I think they come from a time when Pangea was around before all the continents broke up. And I think they're leftovers from something either Gigantopithecus or something akin to Gigantopithecus, and they migrated all across the big supercontinent before it broke up. And then when it all broke up, that's why you've got the Bhutan one, the Himalayan one, the Indian ones, the European ones, North American, South American, and as far as the Yowie in Australia. They're all Bigfoot. and I think they're all from the same family or offshoot of the same family, but they're probably obviously now they'd be very different. But I'm wondering if the skinwalkers and things like, and dogmen and this, that, and the other was because I've seen a theory. Because you know how we like legends, and for each legend there has to be that little spark that started the legend. You got legends of vampires, werewolves, all that sort of nonsense. But is it nonsense? Was there before we had our DNA altered? Because it's been scientifically proven we had our DNA altered by something, and we went from going to hello old being in 2020, which is that in evolutionary terms. Was there, back when we were dragging our knuckles along the ground, was there another type of predator that looked like us but was very different, like vampires, like werewolves, dogmen? Was there? Were they the top tier predators? And then as we had our DNA change and we've suddenly grown up and we've done buildings and this, that, and the other, if they could, their vision is used to open plains and night vision and this, that, and the other. As we've put buildings up and this, that, and the other, have we screwed their vision up? And they've had to go into hiding, and they've become less and less and less and less and less and less, and they're gradually dying out because mankind's taken over. Is that what has happened to the predators? It's only my theory. It's only just a theory. It's just, may not be real. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, could it be that humankind is a virus?
That would explain a lot.
I mean, you look at the way a virus acts and the way humankind is.
Yeah.
Humankind is spreading further and further and further. And it's going to get to a stage where we're going to be airborne. So in other words, the pathogen itself is going to go off into space and spread somewhere else. It's going to go and look for a new host, and it will go and infect that host or a new planet, and it will spread there. Next minute, we'll be colonizing all over the space. So that virus will just keep spreading and spreading. And that's all really humankind is. It's just one big virus.
So do you think there were super predators back when we were, who looked a bit like us but weren't us at all? I don't see why not.
I wouldn't have said super predators.
Well, when you look at the likes of all different mammals, you have the big ones that everybody's scared of down to the little ones. Look at dogs. Wolves.
Yeah, but the big ones that everybody was scared of tended to have small brains. And they ended up killing themselves out because of their own stupidity.
I don't know. I can name a few places in the UK where there's towns of people like that. But you see what I mean? Yeah. It does come to me. It makes a lot of sense that there was a predatory version of us out there that had different set of weapons, evolutionary weapons that it needed to hunt. It may not have necessarily been hunting us, but
again, it wouldn't be surprising, because if you look at it, could Bigfoot and Yeti and Sasquatch, which we've said, depending on where on the planet they are, they're given a different name and they look slightly different, but in general they are roughly the same species.
Exactly.
Just different depending on their habitat. Now, there used to be there was a claim that in the New York Underground, the London Underground, the Paris Underground, there were people living underneath, subterranean.
There still are.
And their skin is changed. The skin has gone sort of more paler and sort of in places opaque, simply because of the environment they're living in. And they're then becoming a different version of us, another version of us.
Changing and everything, and they're becoming feral.
Because of where they are. Their environment's changed, and so their bodies are adapting and evolving to that environment. So you've got a subterranean version of us. So and I dare say, if you were to actually find one of them and compare it to a stereotypical human being you know, a Terranian surface human being, you would see the differences.
Well, we did once upon a time live under the ground in cities that were purpose built under the ground about 7,000 years ago. They're being found all over the place, 7,000 years plus. And that coincides with the legends of the wars between the gods and demons. And then that also coincides with the real evidence that's been found of nuclear strikes and high energy weapon strikes on the ground all over the place from 7,000 plus years ago. And that also coincides with the biblical flood. Could that have been what happened? There was a dirty, great big war between. I mean, I'm quite convinced that the Anunnaki were real and probably still are real, and that they had a lot to do with our evolutionary path. But they had a scrap because one lot didn't agree with us being given free reign, and this, that, and the other, and the other lot did. And that's where religion goes, ha, 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 you know?
Yeah.
So
I think that's probably why religion was pushed out there, to get rid of that belief system of the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki said, get on with it, and left.
Yeah.
They went off and did their own thing. But then it needed to have something happen to erase the memory of their presence.
That's right.
And so the religions have then come forward. The things that have happened when the Anunnaki were here, or the other beings were here, have had to be altered to make it appear that it was our doing and not, or a being's doing, the being they want you to follow, rather than the Anunnaki. If they were to tell the truth, then all hell would break loose. And when you look at it, there's so many different religions out there now, all roughly with the same belief system, just different rules.
Yep. And it's always good guys versus bad guys. And there's always a flood. There's always this. There's always that. And it's the same damn things that happens in every single religion on the same bloody timelines.
So I think they were here. And I think these religions were pushed out there to try and erase the memory of these beings.
Yeah.
So that because I mean, you talk to anybody that looks into religion and the scriptures and everything else, and most of them will say that it's pretty much a way of control.
Yeah.
It's a way of controlling people. So if it's a way of controlling people, what better way of erasing the memory of something that happened before us, or the start of us, by coming out with something else to blindside? And it's like Chinese whispers. Over the millennia, the story changes and it slightly gets altered until you get to what you've got now.
Well, it's like Atlantis. They reckon that Atlantis was basically one of the one of the big mega cities where the Anunnaki lived. And there wasn't lots of them. There was like 7 or 8 of them all across the world, but they were linked. And they were these mega cities. And they reckon that when the Atlantis one went kaboom, because they cocked up on an energy thing they were inventing, that's what caused the worldwide tsunami, the 2-mile high tsunami that wiped everything out, and including themselves. And that helped do all the water and everything. Yeah, pre-Younger Dryas layer. Yeah. They're finding so many things from the Younger Dryas era that don't make any sense, and they think that there was. I mean, I think we're not so conceited that we're going to say we are the only humans. We're like humans 3.0, Mark 4, Mark 5, Mark 6. There's been precursors to it. You know, I
wouldn't be surprised if there are humans somewhere else out there in the universe.
No, that wouldn't surprise me either. Look at the Scandinavian types.
Yeah,
you know. So
I mean, we're so wrapped up in our own things that we don't realise what we're capable of doing. I mean, you look at the likes of Voyager.
Yeah,
they never expected Voyager to last as long as it has. You know, they only claimed that it was going to be go for a couple of years, but now all these years later, it's still going. It's still sending signals as it's left our solar system.
Exactly.
It's turned around NASA actually sent the signal out to it to say, before you leave the solar system, turn around and take a photo of Earth. And it did. It used its thrusters. It turned around. It took a picture of roughly where it thought Earth was, and then went back off on its merry way and sent the picture back. And all it comes up is this little blue dot. And that's it. Now, they never expected anything to come back from Voyager. They didn't think it would even acknowledge the fact that they sent the signal, but it did. And I think we are ignorant to our own accomplishments.
Well, look at, I mean, we should be finishing by now, but we'll go on for a little bit more. Look at when we've spoken about that depleted uranium that was found 1.5 million years old. You don't get that in nature. You don't get it in nature whatsoever. It can only be done via manufacturing. It's the only way you can do it. So what the hell is 1.5 million year old depleted uranium doing when we're only supposed to have been here for a few thousand years?
Yeah.
It's complete and utter bollocks. It's all the legends, all the stories to point to precursors. And when you read all the religions, they like I say, everything's on the same bloody timeline. They just change it. And even when they talk about the people that came from the sky, they come from the stars, and yeah, they're talking about the precursors to us. I think there was very, very definitely intelligent civilizations here before us. Younger Dryas period, that kind of didn't help. There was a big incident then that screwed everything up. But there's so many different things that just point towards it. We're not alone. We haven't been alone for a long time. And I think there's remnants or pockets survived the big cock up and the flood and everything. And I think they had enough time to go, see you later, and buggered off out of it. But some stayed or some came back. I'm not sure. But I think we're definitely being steered. We're definitely being pushed. I wouldn't be surprised. And there was a thing on TikTok the other day. I can't remember whether I sent it to you or not, actually. There was this bloke that was claiming that there was 2 different species of aliens heading to Earth to stop a nuclear war. Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I didn't know what to make of it. I'm thinking, I'll send this to Mark and see what he thinks. Because for a long time, there has always been the train of thought that there are 2 species of aliens out there that are currently communicating with our bobberments.
Yeah.
And maybe they are coming, but not for the reasons we think they're coming for. You know, I don't think it's because of the current issues in the Middle East or whatever it is. It was always for something else. Now it all of a sudden is because of this. And I think they've just changed the label. They're always coming, but they've just changed the reason as to why.
Well, by 2027, we're supposed to have a major event happen. I can honestly say, if there are any, excuse the dog in the background, that's not Ghost, that's Badger. And he's standing at the door going, fucking let me out now. I hope that the major event that happens is never, ever, ever a nuclear war, because quite frankly, you've got big governments sticking their noses in the Middle East. That's got fuck all to do with them. They shouldn't be sticking their noses in. Nobody wants a nuclear war. Nobody in their right mind wants a nuclear war. Please stop. We don't want it. And all you guys out there who are watching from your craft, most of us on Earth do not want a nuclear war. We don't agree with lots of these big governments trying to start a scrap. Just putting it out there. But yeah, I think that I do think something's going to happen. The thing is if for followers of the show, if you've been watching the show for the last few years, you'll see that every single thing that Wayne and I have talked about, and when we've said this is going to happen, that's going to happen, this is going to happen, it's normally been the next year or at the most 2 years later, all the stuff that we've talked about has happened.
Yeah.
We're not clairvoyant or anything like that. We just chase rabbit holes. We do our research and we're like, oh, if you put this together and that together with that, then that says this is going to happen. And then we say it and then it happens. So, yeah.
You do that, Eric.
You tell your leader. Doc Brown here. He's just said about he's going to tell his leader. But yeah, so I think shall we carry this on next week?
I think we better because we've only done one cryptid.
Yeah, we'll have to. We'll carry on with this next week because I enjoyed that today. You guys who are watching later on in the week and you guys who have joined us in the chat room, thank you very much. Please, if you've got any stories to share about UFOs, cryptids, anything like that, either drop myself or Wayne a message directly.
Yes, because I'm getting very lonely because nobody sends me anything.
Or go to our website, thedarkmirrorshow.co.uk, and there is a WhatsApp link there where you can click it and it'll come to us. Or you can private message us, or the email address along the bottom there, thedarkmirrorshow@yahoo.com. Send us your messages, your videos, your pictures there, and we'll talk about them on here. The Mistake Boys. What? What the fuck?
Yes, Terry.
Anyway, yeah. So if you'd like to join us next week, we'd love to have you here, and we'll talk about some more of this then. And as usual, my lovely co-host there, thank you very much for joining us, and all of you guys out there in watching land, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week. And as I say, if you want us to talk about anything, message us. Use the email address. Go on the website. Private message us. Whatever you want. But we'll be back next week, 9:30 on Monday. All right. And remember, if you see it, keep your eyes to the skies. If you see it, tell us. Mystic. The Mystic Boys, not the Mistake Boys. I'm looking at that thinking, you cheeky twat.
As Viv's watching, Viv, what date was the Skegness one? Please remind me.
Before we go, the Skegness thing. And are there tickets still available? So let us know, please.
Please do.
Go on, Viv. When? Viv.
Viv. Come in, Viv.
Vivorius Malorius. When is the? Do you know what? I know it's the beginning of December. When is it? Is it the second? I was just about to say the second. Thank you, Terry. First weekend December. Tickets on sale soon. There you go. If you guys want to meet myself and Wayne, the Dark Mirror Boys, we will be there at this event, and the tickets will be on sale soon. As soon as we see them on sale, I'll start putting them on the wall and everything, so you guys can all click the link and go and buy some. If you want to have a yap with us and whatever,
have a nutty night.
Have a nutty night because there'll be an investigation and everything, and it'll be really, really good. And the last time Wayne and I were there and we did an investigation, was it last time we saw the time before? Wasn't it?
It was the Parafest 2020, wasn't it? 2020 or 2021. We were there at night time, and we saw the weird UFO take a picture of us.
That's right. Yeah. That's for another story for another time. So anyway, yes, keep your eyes out on as soon as the tickets are up for sale, we'll let you know. But if you want to meet us, come join us. And like I say, if you've got anything to share, message us either on the email, go to the website and click the link, or message us privately and we'll talk about it. So we will see you next Monday, 9:30 Greenwich Mean Time. And if anybody would like to be a guest on the show, message us and we'll have a look. So I will see you later. I don't know what's going on with that dog out there. I think it must be his walkie time. So I will see you all later. Anybody, you got anything you want to say, Wayne?
Toodle pip.
See you later, guys. Thank you for joining us. And remember, next week, 9:30. Bye.